Hello everyone, this is my random number generator testing the GUI testing practices. So first we put a number in here. It's going to generate 7 numbers. It didn't take very long. And then it reordered the numbers in numerical order. And again, it didn't take that long. But let's try and do 1000. Generate numbers. There's the numbers. Random. Didn't take long again. Sorting them, and again, no time. Let's 10,000. Let's see what it does. So can't do that. Okay, got the first 100 numbers. It took to sort them 0.2 milliseconds. And here are they sorted, all in numbers. Again, 2 seconds. 2 milliseconds. And that is this section. And the next section, we'll look into the actual code. Okay, this is the design behind my code. So, let's move this over. I have just enter a number here. That's my label. Generate number. And then named it button generate. It's my input box. Text input. Pretty straightforward. So once we go to the code. Okay, first I started off with declaring anything that I was going to use later. I just put everything under the button click except for the get items. It should be a different function. So first name, null, and then double generation times 0. I'm making everything set to 0 first before I try and put anything or do anything with it. I wanted to use an exception handling, making sure I stayed refreshed up on that. And so first, my big catch is going to be this exception though. Not the format exception, but just a general exception that will cover anything else. I don't need a format exception because right here, this first if is going to make sure, check for the input, the integer, and see if it's an integer. It's going to go through that loop. And if it is, we're going to go and so if it is, then it keeps on going and it'll go here. But if it's not, if it isn't an integer, it's going to have please enter a number before entering. For continuing, error, press the OK button. And then if the size is not within these limits, so it kind of showed before what happens whenever it's too big. Please enter a whole number less than 10,000, try again. And then the return in both of these places is going to stop the action of that loop. And then we can continue. So this is the main section. So this is going to initialize the array of numbers. So it's going to create my array, and it's also going to create array using the random class to generate those random numbers to be put into my array. This is my stopwatch that I created, and this is the thing that's going to make sure that we're timing everything. It's a feature. It does what a stopwatch does. And it's also going to initialize an instance of the stopwatch. And then the stopwatch start. So we're starting and beginning the time. And then this is going to go through my loop and make sure everything's in there. And once it does, when it says done creating those random numbers, then it's going to stop this stopwatch. And then this line is going to make sure that we get the count in milliseconds of how long it took from the start to the stop in doing this function in here, which is using an array for first creating and then sorting through. So this one, restart, this is going to actually sort the arrays. So this first section is just really going over creating the array, and then we're going to sort it next. This also restarts it, so we get a second time stopping, sorting in between. So I use double for both of these. That way we can get the most specific time. Stopwatch elapsed milliseconds, using the milliseconds as a which was in our rubric to use. And then first items, get items, integer, as span 100. So this is going to first at least store at least the first 100 and of my array. And this is also a callback to using the first items there. We're filling it up. We're also using generation time. We already established that earlier here. And then sort time, which is my two functions. So it's first one is I'm creating the numbers, and the second one is sorting through them, and they both get their own call outs in the beginning. I already talked about the exception. So this is anything that could go to a false argument, invalid operation, any nulls. This will catch all that and show a different unexpected error has occurred. Please try again. This right here is going to actually, this is the function that's actually going to show what numbers that were generated into a box, into its own message box. It could have been in a list view, or it could have been in like a DG a data grid view. But this, I just chose to use a message box. I haven't used that before, so this is something I thought I'd try. And so the output of the string that we're going to have in there is it's going to have a new line for the first item. So that means those 100 first numbers that we're putting in there is going to go right here. Next. This is going to show the message box that popped up afterwards, which shows one generation time and the sort time, which if we remember, the generation time is for when I created the array, so it's going to measure how long it takes to create those. And then next, it's going to do through the sort time. So it's going to come out as performance and sort time, and then it'll give back numbers for each of those to let me know what they did. And again, this is just the functions that are going to show me the actual data, show everything that I did before. This is a get items. So I did the get items up here. Whenever we needed, where did I put it? Oh gosh, right here. Went too far. So get items. So this is actually this is the function that I need to make sure that it's getting the item. So we're counting the span and then the result, and then we're gonna copy the result, and then we're returning to stop it. And that is my GUI testing. Thank you.